We're back with part 2 of my doggy daycare public service announcement. And again, we're talking about your dog being kicked out of a daycare or brought for a trial day and told that it's not going to work out. Now, in part 1, we talked about the fact that some dogs are just not right for daycare, and it's not a training issue. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the dog. They're fine. It's just not the greatest setting for them. But sometimes, in fact, many times, we can do things that'll make our dogs work well in daycare. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the key factors that lead to dogs not being successful. Number 1, this is definitely top of my list. If you own a medium to high energy dog, you cannot rely on daycare for exercise. The daycare should be used to socialize your dog. But if you are not exercising them outside of that setting, you are dooming them to failure. You cannot bring a dog with pent up energy and set them loose into a group of dogs in a daycare type setting. It's too unstructured and they're going to get into trouble. You're just setting them up to fail. So if you own a medium to high energy dog and your dog is struggling in daycare, one of the first things you want to ask yourself is, am I doing enough to give my dog mental and physical outlets outside of this setting? And that could be just as simple as taking your dog for walks. It could be as simple as training your dog to do tricks or scent work around the house. It could be playing ball with your dog. Whatever is appropriate for your dog and their behavior and their energy level. Exercise is key. So, number 2, and this is the one that I think a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their heads around. The way you live with your dog at home will affect how successful your dog is in daycare. And if you don't believe me, just ask any school teacher out there, and they will tell you that they see correlations between parenting and children's behavior in the classroom. You cannot allow your dog to be pushy and rude and disrespectful at home and then expect them to succeed in a daycare setting. It's not going to work out. Now again, different dogs, different personalities may need different types of structure in the house, different degrees of leadership or discipline, right? But if you own a dog who's, again, a little bit on the higher energy range, maybe a little bit more dominant on that end of the spectrum, and they're struggling in daycare, you may want to look at your leadership at home and how much structure and discipline you're giving your dog at home. And people don't believe it till they see it. We have a number of dogs in our daycare that were really, really struggling, and they were getting in a lot of trouble, and they were on the verge of being kicked out, and we advised their owners to start some training. And once we did training with the owners, we didn't change anything as far as the dog's experience in daycare. The only thing that changed was their experience at home and the training that the owner was given as far as how to live with the dog in a more proper way. And now those dogs are perfect angels in daycare. I mean, night and day, it's like a different dog. So those are the big 2 things that I want you guys to think about. Of course, your dog may just have socialization issues. If your dog has a dog aggression issue or a fear issue and just needs more exposure and socialization, that's of course something that could be done around the other dogs under the guidance of a trained professional, somebody who understands how to socialize dogs that are having challenges. But in many cases, dogs are getting into trouble in daycares, and the dog doesn't have a socialization issue. The dog either is not getting enough exercise and mental stimulation at home, so they're entering daycare with pent-up energy and frustration that's being released onto the dogs, or they're not getting the amount of structure, leadership, and discipline at home that they need to understand how to work cohesively within a social group of animals, dogs and humans included. And because they're not having those experiences at home, they're getting into trouble at school, right? So keep those 2 things in mind. If your dog is struggling in daycare and you think it's something that can be modified, the first 2 things to look at, exercise and leadership/discipline at home, those 2 things might get you on the right track. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.